Welcome to China Gateway, your front row seat to China's growth, innovation, and global connections. Today we are diving deep into Guangzhou, or as it's been known for centuries, Canton. And what we're looking at is this incredible balancing act.
It really is.
I mean, how does a city with more than 2,000 years of history, the thousand-year commercial capital, suddenly pivot to become a hub for, flying taxis and AI?
Well, pivot is one word for it. Evolution might be better. It's driven by just an intimidating scale of ambition.
Right. So our goal here is to really unpack the strategies from their latest government work report and the big 2035 city master plan.
And the planners have this phrase: they want it to be a center world city with classic charm and contemporary vitality. We're going to look at what that actually means on the ground.
From huge port expansions to, well, a pretty radical shift in how they even think about city planning.
A shift that measures success not in skyscrapers, but in human walking distance.
And that's the big question for you, the listener. What does it actually take for a historic megacity to go all in on these new quality productive forces, EVTOLs, autonomous cars, while also, trying to maintain a really high standard of living and culture?
It's like they're making a bet that history and the future aren't opposites. They're assets. To
Exactly.
even begin to grasp the audacity of their future plans, you have to feel the weight of the past. I mean, Guangzhou has a documented history over 2,200 years as a continuous administrative center.
Continuous, that's the key word.
It is. This isn't just an old city. It's an economic engine that has, quite literally, never stopped trading.
And I love that its mythology is all about commerce, about abundance. It's called Ram City, Yangcheng, and also Spike City, Sushan.
The legend of the five immortals.
Yeah, on five-colored sheep, bringing grain and promising no more famine. That story, that blend of myth and deep commercial instinct, it just sets a unique tone.
But the commercial history, that is what really defined China's entire relationship with the world for centuries. Guangzhou was the main port for the maritime Silk Road, way back in the 3rd century.
3rd century.
But what really cemented its global status was later, during the Ming and Qing dynasties, when, for long stretches, it was the only port in China authorized for foreign trade.
So it wasn't just a major port, it was the gateway.
It was the gateway. The sources show that at its peak, the customs revenue from Guangzhou was sometimes up to 40% of the entire central government's customs income.
40%. Wow.
Think about that. Guangzhou wasn't just a trade hub. It was the financial lifeblood of the empire's whole foreign policy. That trade DNA is just baked in.
And that's not just history. Today, it's classified as an alpha-level world city by JWC.
Which, for anyone unfamiliar, is the network that ranks global cities on influence. It puts Guangzhou right up there with the big established heavyweights.
And of course, there's the Canton Fair, the China Import and Export Fair.
Still going strong. It started in 1957, right? It was China's first real window to the world market. And it still anchors the city's identity as a commercial powerhouse today.
Okay, so let's shift to the present day. The 2024 numbers are pretty impressive. GDP hit 3.1 trillion RMB.
A 2.1% growth. But what I found interesting was the double growth metric.
Right. Both goods, import-export, and consumer retail sales were over 1.1 trillion RMB each. That seems to signal a pretty balanced economy.
It does. But what signals real confidence is the fixed asset investment. It hit a record high of 863 billion RMB.
And that money isn't just for maintenance, is it?
Not at all. It's being funneled aggressively into what they're calling the new quality productive forces.
Which brings us to this 12218 industrial system. It sounds like, complex government jargon. Can we break that down?
We have to. It's more than just a list of numbers. It's a philosophy. It's a statement saying industry first, manufacturing is the foundation.
So less focus on real estate, more on code and machinery.
Precisely. It boils down to one core idea: advanced manufacturing, that's supported by two directions: digitalization and green transformation. And then they're pushing hard on 21 strategic clusters and 8 modern service industries. It's a roadmap for a 21st century factory.
And it seems to be working. The results are already there, especially in these future industries. The number of unicorn companies grew to 24.
Which puts them at 9th globally. But it's the type of unicorn that's so surprising.
It's not just another social media app.
No, this is heavy industry. It's mobility. We're talking about EHang, a Guangzhou-based company. They developed the world's first 3-certificate electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft.
Okay, wait. 3-certificate. For those of us who aren't aviation specialists, what does that jargon actually mean in practice?
It means it's real. It means the aircraft has gotten all three necessary approvals from the Chinese regulators: the type certificate, the production certificate, and the airworthiness certificate.
So this is the official green light. It's not just a prototype anymore.
Exactly. It's ready for commercial deployment. It's a huge, concrete step towards making flying taxis a reality.
That is genuinely groundbreaking. And they also have leading autonomous driving companies like WeRide and Pony.ai.
Both of which have had successful IPOs. So yeah, Guangzhou is positioning itself right at the cutting edge of how we're all going to move around in the future.
And you can't have that kind of high-speed innovation without a high-speed bureaucracy, I imagine.
Well, they're trying. They've introduced things like one code clearance, which simplifies tax and fee payments, and it seems to be working because new businesses surged by over 11% last year.
So the economic engine is firing on all cylinders. But where does all this growth actually happen? This takes us to the 2035 master plan and its 6+4 framework.
Right. The six natures are things like being a provincial capital, a cultural city,
Hmm.
but the four core functions really spell out the global ambition.
International Commerce Center, National Advanced Manufacturing Base.
And crucially, Comprehensive Gateway and S&T Innovation Center.
That comprehensive gateway function feels key. It's like the main switchboard for southern China.
It is. And to make that a reality, the city's strategic focus has shifted decisively south to Nansha.
Nansha is their big platform for integrating with the whole Greater Bay Area, correct?
Absolutely. They're running the Nansha scheme,
Yeah.
which is centered on what they call the 5 links: seaport, airport, data port, financial port, and talent port.
A completely holistic approach.
But it required a massive physical change. Historically, Guangzhou used the old Huanggu port. It's great for river trade, but it's just too small for modern container ships.
Right, the capacity was fundamentally limited.
Precisely. So they knew that a 21st century gateway needed deep water access. The pivot to develop the Nansha port on Longsu Island was non-negotiable,
Because it can handle the huge 100,000-ton vessels.
and it cuts down shipping times. The growth has been phenomenal. Guangzhou port is now 4th in China and 5th in the world for cargo throughput. We're talking 26.45 million TEUs in 2024.
And does that reliance on Nansha in the south put a strain on the city's internal logistics?
It's a challenge, but the infrastructure build-out is designed to handle it. The metro network is now over 700 kilometers long,
One of the biggest in the world.
and the expansion of Baiyun Airport with the new T3 terminal means their air capacity is scaling up to match their sea capacity. It's a true multimodal global hub.
But you know, all that scale, all that economic muscle, it can sometimes come at the cost of livability. It seems Guangzhou is trying hard to avoid that.
They are. Their environmental numbers are, frankly, excellent. Air quality is a 94% excellent rate, and their PM 2.5 levels are the lowest among China's 9 biggest cities.
And they're investing in soft power too, right?
Heavily. Improving forest quality, adding hundreds of kilometers of new hiking trails. Culturally, they have this goal of one city, 2 capitals, 3 centers. They explicitly want to be an international cuisine capital and an international events center.
Because global talent wants a high quality of life.
You have to offer it. Which brings us to what I think is the most interesting part of their urban strategy.
The 2KM principle.
Yes. This golden scale for urban value along the Pearl River. It feels like the planners are developing a real philosophy for human-centric design.
So how does it work?
Well, they're defining it by contrasting 2 different 2-kilometer stretches of the riverfront, each representing a different era of development.
Okay, so tell us about the first 2KM, the old model.
The first 2 kilometers is the success story we already know. Sujiang New Town. It's the city's vertical narrative. It was all about density, the CBD, building those iconic twin towers, the opera house. It was necessary. It defined Guangzhou's rise as a modern financial power.
But the new focus, this second 2KM at a place called Baiyatan, it signals a complete change in priorities.
It's an upgrade in transcendence. They're moving toward a horizontal narrative, a focus on lifestyle over just raw density. If the first 2KM was about looking up at skyscrapers, this new one is about looking around and, well, living better.
So what are the key elements of this new horizontal blueprint?
It's defined by what they call 3-in-1 integration. First is station city integration.
So transit-oriented development, making everything seamless.
Exactly. Second is water city integration. This means multi-level access to the waterfront, but it also means preserving industrial heritage like the old shipyard and weaving it into the public space. The river is for walking along, not just for looking at from a boardroom.
Okay. And the third piece?
Park city integration. Green space isn't just a park here or there, it's woven directly into the city's fabric. And that 2-kilometer radius is the key. Planners see it as the perfect distance for walking, for cycling, the ideal scale to group everything you need, work, leisure, transit, without ever needing a car.
So the city is consciously moving away from the pure max-density CBD model towards something that prioritizes the human experience. That's a huge philosophical shift from a megacity that's still growing so fast. So to sum up, we've seen Guangzhou is really leveraging its ancient trade routes, while at the same time just aggressively pursuing the industries of tomorrow, from autonomous cars to certified flying taxis.
And its planning, especially this 2km rule, shows that they now see economic growth and human-centric design as basically the same thing. They're intrinsically linked.
It's a fascinating model.
And the real question to think about is this: how will Guangzhou's choice to shift its urban philosophy away from the necessity of high-density CBDs to the preference for these integrated horizontal green living spaces, how will that redefine the global standard for what a successful future megacity even looks like? It's a subtle shift in scale, but it could fundamentally change life on the ground. This is China Gateway, and we will see you next time right here where China meets the world.